Good morning. Hello, welcome back to Floramancer. We're looking at my test world right now. Been playing with the idea of the Mega Spruce tree farm, and it's nowhere near ready. But I thought maybe we could try and figure it out together. So we did this one in a previous stream, and it works great. My thoughts on it are it takes up a lot of space. Birch trees do not produce a ton of logs, and so the amount of mana we would need to use to run this farm is a lot, and right now we don't have a lot. The other thoughts are in one tree we get a whole mess of logs. This is actually a short spruce. They can go up to that height. I think the wiki said like 31 blocks, and those are set at 32 from the coarse dirt here. And if I can figure out how to automate this, I like this setup. This is not exactly where I want these things, so we're gonna have to move them. I initially started out, and I'll explain some of the things I've been testing. I initially started out with having the pulses go through the force relays in an upward direction, so it would mine at the bottom and go up. Okay, I'm finding that that's probably not the direction I want to go. If I go down, it might mine these blocks. So, Anyway, okay. Challenges are making sure that the random carpus, which this is a petite, so it has a smaller range. The random carpus places all 4 saplings, and I don't have any agrocarnations here yet, so right now it's just natural growth, but the growth happens at this block, northwest corner, and you can do that. I'm facing west, north, this corner. That's a Minecraft thing, that this is the one that causes the growth of a 2x2 spruce tree. If the random carpus places saplings in any of the other spots and they grow before this one is here, I'll get a 1x1 spruce tree, which is not what I want. So I have a couple of, that's a challenge. I need to make sure there are saplings there before I grow the next tree. All the saplings need to be there before the tree grows, essentially. The other challenge with this setup is that I need to pulse this several times in order for it to break all of the logs. So I have the start of an idea of a clock to pulse these numerous times to take care of everything. It does not break saplings, it just breaks the full-size blocks. So even if the random carpus placed the saplings, we're okay. So what I was trying to figure out is how to detect when a tree has grown in order to turn the clock on so that it would break. And then of course it would need to turn off when there aren't any more, when it needs to grow again. The challenge I've got with that is if I break the blocks going upward, and I'm detecting down here whether or not there's a log, it'll turn these off before it's done going through those. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I can't, now what I have detecting a log versus a sapling, and this isn't the exact setup, this isn't where it's going to be, I was just testing. There's a mana spreader pointing at the tree into a mana detector. This just detects if it's received mana from a pulse, and the pool here tricks the mana spreader into firing. So if we remove these blocks, it fires, and that lights up saying, hey, I just received a burst of mana. See how that works? So That's how that works. Now, I could put this pretty much anywhere as long as it can receive and send mana. My question I'm trying to figure out, and I don't have an answer, is will growth of trees, will the leaf blocks will get in the way of this for sure. I'm pretty sure actually that it won't grow, they won't fire through leaf blocks. So I was like, if I need to put it up here, but not all trees grow to their max height. Spreaders can fire through leaves. Okay, so the second question is, when a tree grows, does it delete any of these blocks? I wouldn't want it to you know, delete the blocks. I believe they used to, which is why I'm concerned. They used to have blocks just get deleted. Problem still remains. Where do I put the tree growth detection in this line? Do I put it down in the middle somewhere? And the problem still is, once those logs are broken, it'll turn off the clock and there'll still be some up here remaining. You have a wood farm with a drum of the wild and leaf grow range. Oh, drum of the canopy, yeah. Did not get deleted. Okay, so we have that concern resolved then, but the other problem still remains in, I really need to be able to put this at the bottom. My other thought is, instead of cycling this and having this do multiple pulses, is I figure out how many of these I need, and each one will break 6 blocks. And if it goes up to almost 32, I need to do each one 5 times. That's a lot of these. And I'm trying to think of conserving resources. That's why I wanted it on a clock. Is it such a big deal? Okay. I know that the way vanilla works with tree growth is, if there are any logs up there and there's saplings down here, it will still, if it can, grow. And it'll just, those logs will just be considered part of the next tree, or, I mean, it'll just grow. So sometimes I won't get the whole tree before another one grows. Problem with that, several problems. 1, I don't get the full productivity, the full efficiency of the farm. 2, no saplings will drop because another tree has grown. Thus, I'll run low on saplings for the Ranuncarpus to place. I've seen these the farms. There is a lens which changes the direction of mana pulses. Huh? I can already mine it from the top. The problem that I'm thinking is with because I can do it with these force lenses. I can mine from the top down. I just need to turn these over. If I mine from the top down and there is still bore lens strength left, by the time it reaches here, it will break these coarse dirt blocks. So I would have to be very finicky And I don't want to have to do, I don't want that. The only, like I said, the only other option is to have a whole bunch of these. Okay. So we can slow down the random carpus. I believe we could put a mycelium or podzol and change it so that it's slower to, it has a it's slower to place. Okay, so maybe let's, now that you know what I'm trying to figure out, let's scrap what I've got here and start over, and we're gonna try and do it again and just try to watch it. So we're gonna need this setup and that setup, all that stuff. But what I want to do is redo this and turn them the other way. So we're gonna go into the ground with these and make them go this way. Whoop. Okay, and the prisms will go on those. Ooh, is that's the right order, right? Or is it boar? Yeah, it's the other way. These go on the spreaders. No, it doesn't do that. For crying out loud. Sundays might not be a good day to try to figure this stuff out. Okay. Boar warp needs to be on the prisms. And then force relays here. The other challenge I've got is trying to figure out conserving mana pools. I don't really want 4 mana pools here, but we'll figure that out after we get it working. So this is shooting downward. Again, I don't want to break those. Okay. Is it podzol or is it the seed? Must be the seed. Okay, so that will slow down the random carpus. And that, we're gonna try that. Let's turn these back around. I know, fun. Okay. All right, so So that's what I have so far. And if we do this... Oh, I bounded to the wrong block. Let's try it again. It needs to be to the dirt. Oh. Hey Darkwing, good morning. Okay. So essentially this part of the farm works. I do want to get an open crate and Bohr lenses with a messenger lens? No, messenger lenses reduce the amount of mana per burst astronomically. Okay, so maybe I goofed on you. Let's try you again. See, that's too slow to place those. We're working on trying to figure out a 2x2 mega spruce farm. Let's get that. Okay. The other thought I had, since this makes me happier, is those blocks up there, if they are mana detectors, which they can be, how do I get the signal down there? Don't want it to accidentally delete blocks. See, if we put mana detectors here, all right. And we turn this on. When the mana gets up here, they light up. So I'm trying to figure out if there is a use for that. Well, thank you for testing, Enema. Because if I could have it pulse until it detects mana up there, and then send that signal down here, I could stop the clock. And then all I would need to do is figure out how to start the clock. Can two force relays be bound to the same block? Looks like a no. That's along the similar logic, Anima, yeah. That's along the logic that I'm thinking, is that if I could... One of two things is what we're going to try and figure out. One is breaking the redstone by moving a block in and out. Or two, pulsing a pulse mana spreader into an hourglass. So those are my two things I'm trying to figure out here. One or the other. And I was thinking we could maybe do this, but... Can't bind two force relays to the same block. All right, let's break this down. Let's do detecting tree growth first, and then we'll do detecting finished harvesting. Detecting tree growth, we're going to have to do down here. And I don't want to... I moved all this over. Anyway... Mana spreader. Do. This is not where it ultimately is going to be. We're just testing things, thank goodness, because that looks really silly. Alright, so this will constantly send a pulse each time it receives mana. We have that thought. What can we do with it? And the second question is this too close to the block that needs to be able to grow? No, it still grows. And of course, then the mana stops. And then our second thing is to determine when these receive pulses, what to do. That's what I'm trying to figure out, guys. I don't really know. Maybe this is just... I mean, the only reason I figured this is out is because I followed a picture. There are pictures of spruce farms, and I have a couple, but they use a lot of the Pulse Mana Spreader's Force Relays. There's one that uses the pulsing thing that we're trying to figure out, but it doesn't turn it on and off. It just lets it keep going and going and going. And to me, that seems like a really big waste of mana, because you waste the mana if it's not doing anything and you've just sent it. It's a waste. And if you send it with a warp lens, you can't recollect the mana and put it back in the mana pool. You used to way back in the day, but you can't now. It's not recyclable. So you're just wasting mana, which is why I'm trying to figure out how to turn it on and off. I mean, I like the cleanness of this, just having mana go through here. I attempted redstone at first, and that's extremely unreliable. And I can't use an observer because it detects sapling placement as well, and I would need to ignore that, and I have... yeah. Just no. So I tried to do the corner thing where you had a redstone repeater here and redstone coming out the other corner. Yeah, it didn't work. I'm guessing that's like a lead case where it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, sort of thing. So that was unreliable. This would at least be reliable if I can figure out what to do with this pulsing signal. I don't want it to do anything unless there is no signal, which means inverting it, but it's a pulse. I don't know. It's very unhelpful, I know. you can't you can't pulse them? How do you get them to work? They're not... Are they redstone controllable? And here's the second question. I can't wait for a tree farm until I've killed the Gaia. I need it now. I can do elven spreaders. I just didn't know that they had special this one cannot be turned into a pulse mana spreader. Okay, so I had thought of something like these that we have running our Endoflame farm. You can disable them. Okay. The second question I have then is, how do you trick it into firing in this scenario? Can you trick it into firing? Let's set it up exactly the way I have it over there. By just having a mana pool on top. Ooh. Alright, so it does fire continuously in this scenario. So we would need to turn it off. We would need to, it just changes one problem to another one, doesn't it? We would need to turn the clock off. I don't think they are, though. I don't think they can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 25, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. That's potentially the tallest spruce tree that we can have. Are we ready to see how many it'll break? Not all of them. It's still requiring 4 pulses to get them all. Well, that is something I didn't consider. It's... oh, there it goes. Yeah, so it can break 10. So I still need to turn this on and off or suffer mana loss. And I'd prefer not to. I can't afford to lose mana at this point in time. It is really slow to go on its own. That's really slow. Compared to pulsing. The thing is that this is probably a redstone problem that I don't know. I need to turn a pulse into a constant signal. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. I'm trying to turn the clock on and off. Well, because I've only got the 4 spreaders. So even if we used those, I would need to turn them on and off. I would need to... What? What? I told you this is probably a redstone thing that I don't know. How do I take the pulse from here and turn it into a constant so that it keeps, each time it pulses it just stays constant, but then the problem is I would need a way of it decaying or resetting. Well, Anima, I'm in several Discords that you can join and share images. They are linked in my info stuff. There's the Simpletons, which has an FMA WINRY channel. That's probably the easiest because it's free to get into. I'm looking up stuff on the internet. My apologies. This doesn't tell me what it's doing. It looks pretty, whatever the heck it is. This one. It's not clock, really, is it? That I need? It would. It's. I'm going to change a pulse into a state. And I'm 100% sure this is probably very simple redstone, but I just don't know. I mean, because I've probably done it before, isn't it just... I don't think I allow images in my chat. Something like that. Yeah, I've just had far too many bad things come in from what does that do? That does nothing. So maybe I'm using the wrong. Okay, so that was a solid. We need a button. That's a decay timer. What happens if I keep clicking it? Fun redstone testing! Alright, so we want to do... Why I needed to break that, I don't know. Okay, that is staying solid. And then what happens when a tree grows? It just turns off. Okay. This is where I would want the I'm just trying to make it pretty here. If we had it so that wherever this happens to be, Saplings, saplings, bunch of saplings, all the saplings. And then finally, tree grows. Okay. That, you replace this so that if I come back, I know what I have a better understanding of what this block is intended to be. I think we can use that. I have no idea what this is. I know I've done it before. I think I did it for the Entropinium in the previous playthrough. Okay. So if we were to do something like that to, as long as it works, yeah, to control whether or not this clock is working. And again, we're going to use the pulse mana spreaders. I mean, we can switch it later. We'd have to invert the signal when we switched it so that we actually turn them off instead of on. And we wouldn't need a clock then. That sort of deal. We did. But we're currently very low on mana. These aren't going to consume, you know, the elven ones require do a lot more mana per pulse, blah blah blah. We'll work on upgrading to that. We'll start with this one because this is going to need a lot of resources to actually make. A lot. So what I want to do now is move this that we just invented, which I doubt I invented it, by the way. This thing that we just figured out, and get it set up so it's actually hooked up over here. And my thought is to move this way. So if we did the mana spreader over here, we need a space because of this northwest corner, but I wonder if we could move it here. And it's going to shoot into a mana detector on this. We need to move you. I will pick you up just because. Alright. Mana pool. This signal. Can't be next to that random carpus. Alright, we'll pull it out even further then. Errors. Is that the way it goes? If we flip it, does it change how it works? Or can we just pull off of this one then? Clearly we should build it the other direction. Let's build it so that I can actually figure out what I'm doing. So what we want to do is this block needs a sticky piston. We'll move this clock a little bit. And it's okay if it's pushed or pulled. No, it needs to be... needs to be here when there's nothing happening, and it can be pushed when it is. So that would require, I think you need a repeater to go into this. I don't think it'll go in on its own. And that spot can be the comparator thing. And in, out sort of deal. Yes, no, maybe. And we could probably do a messenger lens on this. I think it'll still detect it, and that'll use a teeny tiny amount of mana then. We'll get rid of you just because. Alright, what do we think? Will this work? And then we just need to bring this out a bit further. To there. Oh, look at the redstone fun. Okay. Let's give it a try. Oh. Step number 1. Okay, 2 from the sand is too fast. So let's increase that to 4. Alright, so now we have it constantly pulsing, but our problem is it needs to, this is not firing. Why are you not? So clearly I've done this. Oh, you know what? I bet the messenger lens does not send enough mana for it to be steady. There. Okay, so the problem is it takes too long for this pulse to get there. So how would we make this? I don't think it sends it faster though. Does it? How in the world does that send it faster? Oh, okay. Speed and distance. Okay. Look at this. To be useful for interactions with blocks such as mana detectors. Alright, so with that going, it does not let the clock work. And we can, in our farm setup, probably put this bit underground and have the piston pointing vertically. So the block would be pushed up and down to break that there. So we could hide that. We could probably hide all of this. All of this could probably go under the tree farm. Not that we have to, but it's possible. Alright, so the next step we need to figure out is, oh, we need to replace the let's see here. What is the range of these petites? Do I need to put this do that for now. It's got to go somewhere, but I'll figure that out. Okay. And with this, we can send the mana back via sparks or whatever we need to do for that. So far, so good. This is the tree detector. Eventually we'll have aggrecarnations here. For now, let's just get another tree grow. And that's a problem. The tree broke the item frame off. And it's not, the saplings are taking forever. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. No. Not that now that I'm thinking about it, that's a no. Just thinking anything that goes through an open crate when it has a redstone signal takes a while to be picked up, probably by these two, and that's not what we would want. Okay, let's see. The range of the petite Ranuncarpus versus the regular one. Pickup range is the same, 5 by 5 by 7. It just has a placement range difference. Good to know. Okay. So I just deleted those instead of one, two, three, four. I bet these are too far away. You should not have run. So we still have a problem of I'm not close enough to these petites to get the saplings placing very fast. That in range? 1, 2. Oh, probably not. Ugh, yeah, there's my problem. Yep. See, why did it... You should not be pulsing right now. What is going on? Why? Should I make this higher? So that it's not interrupted by the saplings? Okay, so that's just way too fast. I thought this was working, man. Apparently not. And that's that same problem. Increase the delay from the repeater. Question, should it be just enough, or would it be a problem if I did that? It's getting all the way down to 3. That doesn't work, huh? We just need to be rebound. Well, I think that does that. So now the next question is, let me look up that site again. I'd like to know aggrecarnation range. The petite is a lot smaller range. I'm just wondering if I can set it so that the aggrecarnation only touches this block. The petite is a range of 5 by 5 by 7. So if we did if we did here with a petite, it only touches that block. And that's the only one that matters for a 2 by 2 growth. Problem is, well, that's not a problem either, is it? Since it's 2 by 2 by 7, we can stack. Seriously? Come on. Boy, this is terrible. Are you in the way? You might be too close. This stuff might be too close. Spruce trees. Looking at growth. Okay. In order to grow one, 4 saplings must be adjacent to each other. For growth to seed, there must be no blocks adjacent, even diagonally, to the northwestern side up to the final height of the tree. A 2 by 2 tree requires a 5 by 5 column of unobstructed space at least 14 blocks above the sapling. So there's where we've made an error. This column is centered on the northwest sapling. A 3 by 3 area is required at the base of the tree at the level of the saplings. So the problem is centered on this one. We need a 3 by 3 here, which we have. There's nothing in the 3x3 around in the sapling area, but it needs 5x5. In a column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Rhinocarpus is there. Do you see our problem? This guy. What happens if we move him back one? Spelling. Spelling is hard. So, see, already a tree grew. Alright, so you should continue to pulse. No. That's right. Now what? I mean, this was what I wanted this delay clock for, wasn't it? It can't, it broke, it went once. Grr. And I know it's because all of these broke. And it did what it was supposed to do, and it's not sending pulses. But it needs to keep sending pulses. Have we just not done the next step? Wait, okay. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. It's doing what it needs to here. But we need to also detect if mana has reached that. Okay, so currently we have it. If there's no tree, don't send pulses to the spreaders. Okay, but we also need it to continue pulsing until it reaches mana, until mana gets up here. Is that where we're at in our detective work? Is this spot right here needs to be an AND gate? So it needs to say if this mana detector is sending a pulse, And mana hasn't reached here. Where's it? Ore. Help me out, man. My head's not wrapping around the logic. Mm-hmm. Your head's also not redstone compatible right now. You see what I'm saying though, right? This is correct. It should break if it's going through here. I don't understand why it's not picking up these dumb saplings. An AND gate should do the trick. I mean, yeah, there. I can ask for advice elsewhere, Darkwing. I haven't given up yet. I'm just trying to figure out. Asking for advice is where I'm like, I give up trying to figure this out myself. I'm going to ask someone else for the answer, and I'll most likely get the answer. Let's clean this up a bit. Let's make this a full-size random carpus and see if it doesn't improve our problem. That it's not placing saplings. And then I need to replace, because the range is the same. I don't know why I'm worrying about, I just can't get it to. Okay, great, whatever. All right, so this step is doing what it needs to do. Next step is we need to see, it's only going to be a pulse up there. No. Okay. As long as there's no, let's stop this. Okay. Guess that would actually stop it. Then I won't have to hear the whoosh whoosh either. All right, our next problem to solve, let's go slow, is when a mana burst arrives here, it needs to retract, as in, or it needs to extend the piston. And that would turn the pulsing off. And it would need to stay like that. Oh, no, okay. That's a problem. You know, like big trees, they're complicated. I wanted to try something new and different, and it's okay. So here's the problem. That's only going to get a pulse when it's done mining out the tree, okay? And if this is continuously pulsing and it's giving a pulse here, and it's going to be a solid state to keep it not pulsing because there's no tree there, but it still needs to keep mining the tree out until it receives a pulse there. How do we reset this? How do we... All right, let's think it through. Okay. Tree is here. It's currently going. Chop, chop, chop. Okay. But as soon as the first thing is, this is going to want to extend. We don't want it to. We want it to stay here until it gets a pulse from that. So what... where do we need to input that? So we need to prevent this from changing this state until it receives a pulse. If it receives a pulse, this can resume detecting tree. So what I want to know, from those of you who know any redstone, okay, so what we want to do is lock the signal until it receives another pulse. So lock this state until it receives a pulse. There has to be something that does that. I just... Um, I need 2 inputs. No, you can't link relays together. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. 2 inputs. What are you? A T flip-flop? I'm looking for a latch, apparently. Push the button that locks the circuit just long enough for the rest of the circuit to change state, and then it locks again. No. Our snore latch is where T flip-flop is an on-off button. Circuit has 2 sides, one of which is always on, the other is always off. They are never both on or off. Sending an input into either side will switch the side off and the other side on. Almost as if 2 inputs were playing tennis. So it's really what we're trying to figure out then is okay, let me write this on paper what I want it to do. We want a redstone pulse how do we get it down here? This setup. Does it work the other way around? How do you do it? Flip it. How would you flip it? Because we need this the other direction. Turn it around. Because the mana detector is here, it needs to go upwards so that it's not deleted by the tree. And that would send our pulse. We'd have a pulse down here of a block, which we could use a redstone block for. Yeah, but the problem is that this is not what I want. This is... I need it to be like this unless... Okay. This is really... Okay, so I know that you can lock repeaters somehow. Clearly that's... I thought you just had to have... Does it lock when it's got... Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting. Now I don't know what to do with that thought. All right, pen to paper time. On a piece of post-it note, so hopefully I don't write a lot. Okay, if there's no tree, we need the piston to be in default state, not extended. If there is a tree, we need the piston to extend and stay extended until the pulse from the mana detectors. That still has a flaw in that logic, in that what happens if the random carpus is placed 4 saplings even though it's supposed... Okay, hypothetical. This is running because a tree just grew, but it hasn't reached the mana detectors up there yet. Another tree grows. What in the very off chance, if mana is currently traveling near the top here, it hits the mana detectors, but there's a new tree? Maybe this is just too complicated for me. I mean, I've gotten a decent ways here about figuring this out. But maybe it's just too complicated for me to understand. Yeah, that's not supposed to withdraw, which it will. If I could see that random carpus is too close, so it's picking up logs at the same time. Dang it, that's not what I wanted to do either. See, there it is. Another tree grew. Yeah, I wanted a lot of wood, Darkwing. And Anima, the problem still remains, as I mentioned at the beginning. If I force relay the tree, the spreading downward instead of upward, there's always a chance that it will break the coarse dirt, and then I will have a broken tree farm. Yeah, the other thought would be, instead of just having these 4 on a timer, these 4 can do 6 blocks. I would need to multiply this by 5. I would need to have 20 force relays. Okay, so the other thing you could do with just these 4 relays is set up a counter. There's gotta be... I've seen them. You resign? You can still watch me struggle though, right? If we could count in redstone pulses. Each time there's a pulse, there's a count. And count 5 pulses or whatever, however many. I think we needed 5, right? 5 times 6, yeah, 5 pulses before it would reset. I don't know how to do that. I'm guessing, would that be like a... where you've got... Can you count by putting mana dust into an hourglass? Really? Is it in the book? The whole point of this series is learning even more Botania. Okay, so this is a timer. The sand. Mana powder can be used. Doing this turns the hourglass from a timer into a counter. Instead of dropping the sand down at a regular interval, it'll drop a single piece down every time a mana burst collides with it. So that's the... okay. But how does it reset? Does it reset after it reaches 10, for example? So that's... okay. Man, I have so much garbage in my... whoops. We'll do 4. Alright, and then... give me... if we could do... one, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it automatically flips over. Okay, let's see here. That might be something. Okay. The challenge here is this doesn't send off any redstone signal in this state, I'm pretty sure. It's just a counter. So how would we manipulate that? Okay, so what is its use if the counting doesn't do anything? Wait, for a pulse. Hang on. Aha! Okay. Let's think about this. What I am trying to figure out is this setup here, it's over here as well. Let's say here, and we'll get the sand. We need the 4 sand in here, and it's gonna be ticking. Does this make it tick? It does. Okay. Into there. Can we? Let's see what this does. Oh. This will turn it off, but it won't turn it back on. See, and that's not what we want. We want... Okay, what we want is... It's not... Actually, I think of this. Okay, what I'm trying to think about, again, please help me if you can. I would like, every time this flips, for it to count, and when the counter sends a signal, that is that reset of the piston. So instead of receiving a mana burst from up there, I want it to, let's see. Pop you out for a second. We know what you're doing. Okay. Let's try to first set this up so that I want it to, it only sends a burst every 4. And I would want it to do 5 bursts and then stop. So my thought is, if this is the one that's just ticking, but it also sends a I can see it in my head now. I'm just trying to get it translated into redstone. Okay. Let's try to go slowly. I want this to just to be turned on and off, I think. But I'm also unsure. Okay, so we want this to tick 5 times. Every time it ticks, I want it to count. So let's grab another piece of mana powder just so it's accurate for how many we need. All right. And when it reaches 5, I want it to stop the clock. The problem is, what I'm going to want is for it to stop the clock. We're going to need to be able to restart the clock. Let's try stopping it first. This will stop the clock after it counts to 5. So if we pretend this is going into our mana spreader force relays stuff, this here, what should happen is once it's counted 5 bursts, this should stop. It needs mana. No, it needs mana. Alright, let's do this again. Stopped. Alright, so there, it stopped. Now the timer has stopped. Unfortunately, it stopped and it counted this as 1. Why are you... Why? Why did it count? Oh, because when it stopped... Well, that's survivable. That's fine. Okay. So we have the 5 done. Now, what we need to do is turn this back on. And what are the rules for turning it back on? The rules are we need The rules for turning it back on are in this. We need we might not actually need this to be a solid state. We might just need the pulse. Because to turn it back on, we just need to pulse here. That would do it. Just trying to think. This pulses constantly. So that's a problem. We only need one pulse. Okay. So that's our next thing, is we need to figure out how to get this constant pulsing, because when there's no tree, it'll constantly pulse. To not pulse this unless... unless it's right now where there is no pulse. So we need to invert. But it'll be blinky. This won't be blinky. Invert this. Of course, I hit the wrong block. Okay. I might be onto something. It might be a mess, you guys. You guys are actual redstone geniuses. You're being awfully quiet, for one, and two, this is probably going to be messy. But I'm thinking now that I can figure out how to invert it. So like if this is a steady pulse, which we should get, let's manually just break what we need to break in here so that it pulses. This never decays, so it stays inverted, right? That means there's no tree here, there's no tree here, there's no tree here, there's still no tree here, so don't go. But as soon as a tree grows, go. And that signal we can convert into a pulse. And if I can remember how I did that. That was with a comparator and a repeater. I wonder if I can come in from this side so I can turn it or not. So if it came in here, I'm not sure if it needs to be a repeater here. And then let's try to remember this. And I think this needs to be on a delay. Oh my goodness. If this works, I will drop my jaw all the way to the desk. This setup I used, if it's right, when I was doing the runic altar automation in the previous playthrough, where I was taking the comparator signal off of the runic altar to decide whether or not it needed to be hit by the wand of the forest, and then whether to complete crafting it needed to be a pulse. I think that's what Okay, so to test this, what should happen is, okay, so tree growing, there's no tree, you get the tree. We're watching this, watch carefully. Maybe I need to put a lamp at the end there so we can kind of see what it's gonna do from far away. What I'm hoping will happen is when I place logs there, we'll see the lamp pulse. Yay! Let's see some WINRY wows in chat, man. That was definitely deserving of emoticon fun. Well, I want to do it too. I don't even know if I spelled that correctly. Spelled correctly. There we go. Ha! Yay! Okay, that means this signal could pulse a redstone mana spreader right here to restart the clock. It could. It really, really could. All right. Let's set that up and see what we can do about it. All right. This, we need some more ground. Just, yeah. Yeah, I couldn't remember the word. I couldn't remember. It's FMA win is my little signifier. FMA win. Wow. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Let me see. So what you're saying is if I did wow. Oh, it does. I know it's wow. I just couldn't remember what my prefix was. Okay, so we need the pulse mana spreader here. Definitely need to give it mana. We're gonna have to figure out this mana. There's so many mana pools everywhere that we're gonna have to keep full. All right, and then we have the hourglass, which I don't think we need to have right up against it. Let's put it there. Let's put the messenger lens. We don't need two of those in my inventory. Messenger lens so that it doesn't use a ton of mana. And 4 seconds. Okay, let's make sure it's bound to that. All right, and then we need to do this setup. All right, so first it totally needs to go here. And it also needs to go that way. We need to and this to do the counting. And this can be right here, I think. And we need mana powder 5, because that'll break 30 blocks. And then that. It just stopped. Okay, so the next thing is we need to do this test again. Let's restart it. Okay. Now we're just waiting for a tree again. It has stopped the 5 pulses. I'd like to see it work. Am I gonna have to force you just so that I can watch you work? Okay. It just sent a pulse to restart the clock. And it's waiting again. It didn't go up as high. Oh, that I remember now why this we probably need more than that. All right, let's try this again. Tree grows. And it stopped. It got quite a bit further this time. Maybe 4 seconds is still too fast. Here's a question, I don't know. Can I send another pulse of mana while the other one is traveling? Is that what our problem is? These guys aren't working because they're not bound to a pool anymore. And again, they're only bound to that sapling. This should get them all, right? Yes? Maybe? Eee. And it stopped, right? Oh, it's restarted because there's a new tree. Here's the problem. Here comes a potential problem. Other than that being placed there. This sapling got placed before any of the others, and it's the only one getting the aggro-carnation. So the problem I foresee is that potentially a 1x1 sap tree grows here, and it breaks our whole setup. I do not know if I can angle this in such a way, like if I were to put it here so that it could go through, no, it wouldn't go through 4, it would only go, still only go through 2. Yeah, so and I don't know how to stop that. I need to fix that. Oh, well, that would be the reason that needs to be fixed. It has no more room. I don't know what to do about that. I think I've seen people use more than one Ranuncarpus to try to get them placed as fast as possible, which is what I was trying before. Yeah, don't do that. All right, we're just gonna monitor this for a little bit. My other thoughts are there's a lot of mana pools here. These need to be full size, I think. So these need to be full-size mana pools. These two over here could very likely be just diluted pools since they're using tiny amounts of mana for this. All right, so we have a tree. It's growing. Sorry, it's being chopped down now. All right, and now it's being stopped. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do in our actual world, number one, the way these Bohr warp lenses work is that it teleports any broken blocks to the mana spreader. They're still too close to these random carpusses, so we're going to need to make sure that all the logs that show up over here are not in the random carpus range for the saplings, because otherwise it could potentially place a log there instead of a sapling. So that's okay, perfectly okay, because the force relays can reach really far. There's one problem here. Oh, did this just break it? This may have just broke it. We had a tree grow before it was done with the 5 steps. It was on its last one. And there's the problem. It stopped it in the middle. So this is unreliable. Oh boy. What do we do? What do we do? How important are the agrocarnations? Currently, not super important. They just make the farm a lot faster. So I would have more production. I'd have a lot more tree production. See, it placed all these saplings, and it could, even if it didn't have agrocarnations, it could still end up growing the tree before it was done. Like right now. It just grew it again. How do we fix that? How do we program in a fix for that particular issue? Because it's going to happen whether there's agrocarnations there or not. There's always a chance that another tree will grow as soon as the first bit of tree is harvested. And the problem that we have is that this pulse happened to stop it as soon as this was harvested, and it wasn't able to do the pulse again to restart. My only thought is to put in another timer, like no, because that'll break it. I was so close, guys, so close. Yes, having a button, yes, perfectly okay for the reset. But I'm wanting a farm that I don't have to babysit. I want it just to be able to run. And this is a farm currently I would have to babysit. There could be a problem every single tree. Ah. Nope. It only works next to it. Dang it. I can't do that. I don't think I can do what I'm thinking until... Hang on. There might be a solution. There might be a solution. I mean, we'll have to move things around. But once I get the mechanics figured out, I think we can... Does this work? If it does, that means if this won't get a sapling ever. You see where I'm going? I have just disabled the random carpusses. If I can disable the random carpusses while this is ticking, and then, you know, re-enable them once this is done ticking, then it will play saplings only after the other tree has already been harvested. Which would then mean I only need one random carpus. Although 4 would be nice. Okay, so that's our solution. I just have to figure it out now, guys. What I need to do is pull I need to take a pulse and turn it into a solid state, don't I? That won't work. I was just trying to think if I took the signal off of this torch and pulled it down and over to the random carpusses. It's lit up when there's a tree there. But just as soon as that, we have the same problem as we did with the counting over here. Yeah. So it did it break all the tree? No, because it was in the, I had to reset it. Okay, so it didn't. But yeah. What I need what I need is I need to take this pulse, this line, convert it to a, oh, maybe not. I need whatever the pulse is that stops the farm, which is this one. So I need to take this signal from the hovering hourglass with the mana powder, and when it pulses, it says we're done counting. That's when I need to turn the random carpusses back on to be able to pick up saplings to place. Yeah. That's it. It needs to come out here. It needs, whatever's in this spot here is where I need to pull that signal. It needs to be inverted. Maybe, hang on, but it still needs to, okay, let's think about this. It needs to come from this spot, but it needs to not just be a pulse. Boy, is this complicated, guys. I'm looking at all these other farms for the Mega Spruce, and they're not applying any of these extra things to it. Like, they don't have mana detectors. It just runs and runs and runs and runs. And why would I want to do that? That's such a waste of mana that we don't have right now. We're not swimming in mana. So we have another challenge to figure out then. How to take this one pulse and turn our random carpus on when that pulses, but also then turn them off when this blinks. Because this will blink when there's a tree. Or, I mean, it doesn't blink when it turns to solid state. That might be what we want. So again, we're doing this funny way. I'm just trying to think. Okay, so this is going to be the line to the Randon Carpuses. And then if this is the default state, I think this should be the default state, actually. Oh, but the thing is that maybe that needs to be regular pistons and not stickies. Oh, it is time to feed the cats. I'm going to go and take care of them really quickly, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere, folks. All right, so cats are fed. Back to this problem. Yay. I mean, hopefully this is the last problem we have. What do you think? Is this the last problem we have? I don't know if this is what's going to be our solution, though. Dang it. Keep hitting. Okay. Oops. We're getting pulses is what we're getting. We're getting a pulse here when it's done, and we're getting a pulse here when there's a tree. Right? How do we pull this signal downward and still let it travel? Can we grab it from here? Can we do that? Or that way, either way? Probably no, because we don't have space. Boy, this is insane. Going. All right. Step 1, relocate this dude. Step 2, relocate those. So that they're not chancing picking up logs. That's what we're doing. Is that what I have? Yep. Put the grass back. And I need the coarse dirt over here. All right, so that is good. They're relocated. All right. Let's go down here. Oh, that wasn't good. Okay, and then our agrocarnations, they are too, so we're gonna have to be careful with that. I should be okay. If I do this number, it shouldn't affect the agrocarnation, right? And to turn those off, do I just need a power in there? No, I need it for all of them. How about... Oh, that's how that works. How do we turn those off, man? Do we have to turn them off one at a time, or can we turn them all off at the all together? Okay. Boink. All together now. Okay. Now, disabled, enabled. This is disabled. Okay, so Ranuncarpus can pick up saplings here. We want this state when let me first, does that work with this? Yeah. So this is the guy we want to move with pistons back and forth. ¿Por qué? Can I not rotate one that's moving? That's... Haha. Okay. So those are the two inputs, right? Oh, I suppose we could put them here. Couldn't we? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So let's find where these lines are. This pulse. the signal down. And then we have to figure out, okay, this is they're working, and this here is from the pulse from, there's a tree, so we actually need to go to that one with this one. Maybe we should just move this over. There we go. Now now we're going to go from here to there. Directly under this is probably not a good idea. We should bring it down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, and a repeater in here. Okay. So that should work too, because currently they are unable to place because we have a tree. And then if we don't have it, if this counter is done here, we'll do the same thing. We'll pull it down. If this pulses, it needs to go here. And clearly I have a mess of stuff that we're gonna have to try and organize, or I don't know. There we go. All right. To test this, we're just gonna turn it on and see what happens. Yep. Right now, saplings should be able to be placed. No, they are currently not able to, not placing. Oh, because we haven't sent a, we need to send a dummy signal, since it didn't get one when the alright, so that dummy signal should make it so that they can place saplings now. And we just need to put some saplings out. We need to do another Borealis seed. Okay, now grow. And the thing about this is if it gets another signal, since it was a regular piston, it's not going to reset that button, is it? Did I do this wrong? Because if it sets... may have done it the wrong way. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so that's pushed it over. For a tree to grow. The tree has grown. So it's... No, it needs to disable them right now. Hmm. So they're currently disabled. Not what I want now, is it? I want... Did I set this up wrong? I think I may have. Because we need these to be placing saplings right now. And this just triggered, which means it would push it that way anyway. These saplings. Yeah, this needs to be the tree grow one. Trees growing, disable. That's what this needs to be. We need to move this in. And then this one should push it to there. Okay. Oop. Let's try to fix this on the fly, right? Right. Oh. We'll listen to the cats play. I love it. All right, and then we need to put you there for now so that I can move you in. That's not right, is it? Ha 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 ha. So is there a tree right now? Must be. Tree right now, disabled. Timer done. Can place saplings again. I think we may have it, folks. I have no idea how to compact any of this. And this is just one tree. To expand this would require a large setup. But that's the point of this playthrough, right? Go big or go home. That's really my goal with this. So we're gonna need to do this more than once, or have more than one tree farm. This can only support birch trees. Because oak trees, if they grow a certain size, have all those little limbs, and acacia grows wonky, and dark oak needs a 2x2, but it also has limbs. So this is essentially the only farm we can do this way. All right, that should be enough to clear everything. Yes, we won't need those up there in our playthrough. Our chest must be full. Yep. I manually put the saplings in here so that I had some when I was playing with testing the farm. Alright, so once we have the tree farm, we need to actually process the logs into charcoal so that we get better fuel efficiency over here. This whole thing today that we have spent 3 hours on learning how to do is all so that we can get our endoflames running. Right now in our main world, they are not running. I'm just waiting. We're watching this a little bit because I want to see if it continues to function like I'm hoping it will. We will need to get mana over to this farm, and I don't want to set up mana generation here where the farm is, so we'll have to push it out to it. We currently don't have a whole lot, so it's going to take us a bit of time to build up that mana buffer. But we'll get there, especially if we can get these running at a better rate. I will need to do some bulk crafting of endoflames in our main world so that we have a decent amount of them. There is a flower that powers furnaces, yes. It needs mana, but it will power furnaces. I think it can power up to 6, I think, in its range. It might just be 2. I have to look that up. The exo flame powers furnaces, so I wouldn't need to put fuel in the furnace. I would just need to put what we're processing in the furnace. And we get 2 stacks of, almost right around 2 stacks of logs each time this tree grows. That's a lot. in order to get the same amount over here, you average 5 to 6 logs per tree. And think about how many trees this would need to chop down to do that. It would just... yeah. Yes, I used it in my last playthrough quite a bit. I used it for my furnace array. I used it at the endoflame generator because that is where I was creating the charcoal, just right there. And I could do that here eventually. I just don't have a way of getting the stuff that the logs over to the endoflame. Yeah, so right now that's just not possible. Yep, I used it a lot. And then I used it in my crafting setup. When I had all those things crafting, my whole crafting hall. Not the 3x3 hall, but the other one. See, I'd need 10 to 12 birch trees for 1 stack of wood. Or I can grow a 2x2 mega spruce and have it a lot faster. That's why this is more economical even in mana than that thing over there. And yeah, it took us a heck of a lot of redstone. A heck of a lot. We're now currently waiting for this thing to grow. There we go. And it's ticking. The ring of birch looks cooler. I am not saying we won't build this tree farm. I'm just saying we probably won't build this one first. I agree. It looks really cool when it's running. I could get it running for you. For those of you who are watching who didn't see it. It's a 20-second timer, so let it go. There we go. I am pretty sure, I'm having this thought now. I'm pretty sure that the mana won't arrive in pools. I'm pretty dang certain I read that the warp lens won't allow this to happen, but I suppose we can find out. That last bit of mana, if it is all done and it would just keep traveling. Boy, this is a nice tall one. I am noticing that as long as mana is traveling, this isn't sending again. As you can tell, it just blinked without a mana pulse. So we might have to increase that. Because the taller the tree, the longer it takes. And I want to make sure, see, because it's already stopped. Let's get a bit more sand. No, we want a bit more mana powder. Let's do 8. We'll have it do 8 times. Or 9, whatever's in there. Because yeah, now that's there. This is just passive decay on the leaves. It currently looks to be okay. We may want to figure out how to get a drum of the canopy if we start getting a deficit of saplings. This is the same setup that we will be using. Actually, it might be interesting if we do this type of farm with birch trees. We could use the munch dew here. But birch saplings are really aren't that great. We could make birch saplings. Out of the other saplings we're getting. How many transitions would we have to do? If we have a surplus of spruce, for example, uses, we would only need to do it once to get birch saplings. That's a thought. Okay, so later on down the road, if I forget this, we could take our surplus spruce saplings, which we're likely going to have, convert them to birch for a very tiny amount of mana, and then make our round tree farm and use the munch dew on the leaves there to get mana to potentially run that whole farm for this tiny little amount of mana from the spruce sapling conversion. So instead of hoping for birch saplings from the round circular farm, we would create them off of all of the saplings we're going to get from this farm. Thought. It is definitely an interesting thought. And it's possible a munch dew or two could run that entire circular farm mana positive. Wonder if there's a way to disable the munch dew when the sapling storage is getting low. Well, let's find out. No. The way you would know is if the flower is crafted with a redstone root, and since this is a generating one, I don't think. No. It appears this one is running just fine. It looks like we're doing pretty good. I could stop the spreader, yes. As we learned here, Elven spreaders, and I bet Gaia ones too, but we can't make Gaia ones yet, are redstone configurable. If you, oh, Hermes, hi baby, I can't hold you. Just a second. As I was saying, while I hold Hermes. Elven spreaders, when you apply a redstone signal to them, stop firing mana. The problem that I see, and I think is the problem, is that the munch dew is gonna keep working, whether or not it has anywhere to send the mana. I believe the only generating flower that doesn't have that problem, that mechanic, is the endoflame. The endoflame is the only one that, if it has nowhere to send the mana, stops consuming. I think everything, all of the other generating ones, keep working and thus wasting. If it has nowhere to go, it will just keep going. The one benefit of a munch dew is that it has a cooldown timer. So I think it eats a certain amount of leaves in its range, and then it cools down and waits like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. But I do think all the other generating flowers will just keep trying to generate, even if it has nowhere to send it. And so you waste resources and mana in that. which is why most tree farms that use a munch dew have an auxiliary tree farm, especially if it's birch, just to make sure it constantly has enough saplings. So being able to craft them very easily with just an alchemy catalyst and a teeny tiny amount of mana, it would be to our benefit, because that spruce tree farm is going to produce so many saplings. And even more if we can hook up a drum of the canopy to it. So, yeah. Okay, I'm putting you down, sweetie. Oh, you've got claws that hurt so bad. Oh, ow, ow, ow. Down, down. Oh. He did not want to be put down, and owie, I am now bleeding. Just a minute. Ow. I'll be fine. That just really hurt. Okay. Could use extra saplings as fuel for the end. Yeah, but that'd be really inefficient, but you could. Yes. Let's see here. Because I think we could very easily put another mana spreader. Do we want a pulse? Probably would want a pulse. If we put a drum, where would we want it to pulse from? In this set here, probably. And I think it would just need a messenger lens. If this clears, I want to see if there's mana in those pools. It made it to the top. Did it collect the mana? It did. Ooh. Now this is quite a ways away. We'd have to try to get it pushed back down. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now to get those, though, I should probably pull it in to be in range of those two. And then if we put a spark here with an augment recessive dominant. Oh, I bet if it's in the range of that. Come on. Alright. How much is in there? Teeny tiny amount? But still. If we could figure out how to get that then back down into the setup down there, that would be lovely. How far away is that? Let's do the count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, hey. Okay. So, recessive and nothing. This one would need to have a tinker on a clock, because we would need to have it currently be dominant. Pull down. And so that should have emptied that one. And the problem now is that once I hook those up, it's going to want to pull it up. So then I've got a loop. Uh-oh. Well, so I have a crash. Okay. Let's find out what that was. This I think is the first crash. No, second. Okay, so what does it say? It just says unexpected error. Java concurrent modification exception. Block piston relay tick and where? Well, it says where I'm at. What happened? I don't know. Dunno. Probably just a regular old error. Probably. I think I cracked the puzzle of the 2x2 tree. I'm not sure what just caused my error, but so do you want to hear? Do you want to hear what I've done? Anima? I think we've got it. Unless that crash is something that keeps happening. Anyway. So we currently have saplings being placed. They are being placed because the redstone torches underneath them are turned off, so they are redstone controllable now. They will only place when this is all chopped down. It's an insanity here. So, trees grown. It has just sent a signal to disable the random carpus down here, so now the torches are lit underneath them. So we'll not plant saplings. And this timer goes for 5 or 6 times. Nine times. It goes for 9 times. And we're counting it with the mana powder. I think you told me this. So we're counting it, and then of course we're stopping the clock after that count. So we should be about there. And I probably will reduce the number. This next one, it should stop. So there we go, it's turned off, and it sent a signal down to allow the random carpus to place saplings again. So yeah, now it's allowed to place saplings again, so we don't have the problem of a tree growing into a what's not done tree. There it goes. And we have 2 agricarnations here trying to force grow it. But yeah, I think we did it. I've just been watching it to see if it'll keep going. This I need to probably disable now. We don't have any saplings in the system. So, yep. I can get rid of all of this stuff that we were doing for testing. Relatively close to instant. Relatively close. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. I'm still kind of concerned about, we're gonna just pick up all of these saplings right now. You would have given up a long time ago. Yeah, I probably would have too if one of my goals was not to force myself to learn this stuff, because I can get further in other mod packs and things if I understand redstone. Again, I really wish there were, if I knew off the top of my head, a compact way to do this, but I've explained in previous my previous playthrough. Yeah, it's going to be spaghetti redstone, but at least it works. And I can now understand it. So we've got a delay clock here, a decaying clock that just keeps getting refreshed. If it didn't keep getting refreshed, it would slowly just go away. And then we have a pulse we have a solid state into a pulse here. The solid state from this torch turns into just a pulse that starts the system, that counts how many times it goes, which we're going to reduce you right now. We'll do 6. And of course, I probably didn't get in there fast enough. Yes, when a tree grows, the timer restarts to do the cycling again, and it gets counted. And once it reaches its max count, it sends a signal back to here to turn it off. So yeah, you can see it's counting here. And then you just saw that it reached its count, so now it's turned it off. And if you can see, it's stopped. That's done. And we've reset the system. So the random carpuses placed the saplings, and now we wait for it to grow again. The one thing one of the things I'm concerned about, is our chest full again? Yeah. Other than that, there's no easy way to duplicate. You mean to have more than one tree? I'd have to duplicate the whole thing. It's very likely I may do so, simply because the point of this world, this playthrough, is to go big or go home, which is something I've never done. So yeah. The sole purpose of this farm is to produce fuel for the endoflames, and as you can see, there's the potential to have a lot of these things running. And I could even go up higher. I could go up to that yellow block, is how far away that Ranuncarpus can place. So I could have several stacks of endoflames running if I really, really wanted to. But yeah, it does appear that this is running consistently. I may pull the mana instead of this way. I may pull it this way. And there's so many mana pools here. So many. One, we've decided these are going to be diluted because they're just messenger lenses, so they won't need a lot of mana, but they still will need sparks to stay full. These need to be full-size ones because as we upgrade the farm, we'll be able to use less counts because we'll use, I just broke them down, but the elven spreaders, and we'll just invert this signal so that, yeah, we'll do a different thing here, I think, so that it just stays on, or so that they turn off. Yeah, probably won't even need this. Anyway, we'd figure out the alternate for using other spreaders because we wouldn't need to count pulses as frequently. Blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, we have the other spreader over here. And if I could make it so that this one's not all the way over here and it could use... I don't have another one it could use. Still needs one, but it still only needs a diluted one. Because again, it's just a messenger lens, but that one needs to stay full all the time too. So I have 3 diluted and 4 full-size pools that need to try to stay as full as possible. And it's very apparent that we will be able to collect little bits of mana already down here that don't get used during the process, but it's not a lot. Like right now, it should send some down. You can see little sparkles. It's tiny amounts. But yeah, we've spent 3.5 hours figuring this out. It is insanity, but I love it. And this is more complex than any of the other 2x2 farms that I've seen. And I think it's because I'm trying to make it break proof. I don't want to have to run out of charcoal because of this. 3.5 hours is good for research time? Well, thank you. Yeah, that's the hope and dream here. Now the fun part of all of the redstone, except for, well, that could probably go straight down. I could make it go vertical. Well, it would go down further, so it would be underground. All of this could be underground, so that on top of the surface, all you would see is this bit. So that's totally doable, is to put all of that underground. Yeah. And unfortunately, I would have to replicate this and what I have under here for each tree if I wanted to do another one. Yeah. I could maybe do 2 trees. We'll do 1 to start, but yeah, I've got to figure out. So pretty. I want to see how quickly the saplings get placed. There you go. Not super fast. But I have not seen it break yet with it just growing a single tree. And that's kind of what we were watching for. Are you not putting any in there? No, those are the ones that I put in there. Pick up only items and frames. Does the open crate get precedence or something? Okay. Can I just say my head is fried? I am fried. And this is full again. Whee! Alright. Months each. Yeah, that's the hope. I have no idea how much mana this is using in order to do that. So I mean, we've got an uphill battle to figure out. But I'm pretty sure the amount of endoflames that this one tree farm can produce, can fuel, should offset that by a decent amount. I'm just trying to figure out. I'm gonna have to take a bunch of screenshots and figure out the best layout for this underground, and go from there, I think. Yeah, it's gonna have several layers, I think, but if I can do it well, I can get this where I'm pulling the signal from, I can get that closer to this here so that we don't have the spaghetti under here. Don't need the spaghetti. Oh, yeah. Okay. I think that's going to be it for me today. And I think when I upload this VOD to YouTube, instead of breaking it up into 1-hour episodes that I traditionally do, I think I'm going to upload just this entire stream as one VOD. Simply because we worked on one thing the whole time. And if someone doesn't want to watch my fumbling with redstone contraptions, they can skip the whole episode instead of skipping 3. So yeah. What do you think, folks? Overcomplicated? Cool? Interesting? Dumb? all sorts of things you could come up with. But I think I solved almost all of our problems. The only problem we may have is the potential 1x1 spruce tree that could grow. Yeah, if it's placed here and there aren't 3 more, because this is the only spot that these agrocarnations are bone mealing, is this one here, and that's intentional. So yeah, because this is the one that controls 2x2 growth. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me and watching me scratch my head over redstone. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be back next Saturday with some more Floramancer. Gosh, we'd better be working in our main world, right? So I will see you back then. Take care, folks. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.